What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky Transformers review, we're going to take a look at the biggest Transformer I've ever purchased. And without a doubt, you can tell what this is. It is, of course, the new Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Titans Class Omega Supreme. And he's so big, I have to do this on my building table because they won't fit on my set. Well, at least I can't manipulate it on my set. So, we have the box. I'll move up just a little bit here so you can see it. Some really nice box art here. There is one minor weirdo thing here, and he's got blue eyes, which the actual thing doesn't have. I'll talk about that later. And of course, some of you have probably watched the out-the-box reaction, so you'd probably repeat some of the same things, but for the rest of you, here we go. You've got a nice little image of Jetfire right there. Actually looks pretty similar, I think, to his actual box art. You got some Tetrajets flying around here. You got some City. You got some Decepticons down here. I believe this is Brunt. And then a couple others I don't really recognize. So there's those guys. That's pretty cool. You got Hasbro Transformers, Tomy. That's the good thing. WFC. Can't read it. 829. I don't know. Big old thing. You come over to this side and you get the normal Siege box art. You come over to this side, you get the Arc, and it does have like the kind of hidden messagey stuff there. I can't really see it. I think it's just the normal logo and stuff like that. I did find a post, I think it was from cybertron.com or somebody else like that, listing out what the symbols mean. So like the emblems here like that. So one of them means Autobot. You got his rank here, or this is his rank. This is his type, whether he's ground, air support, whatever like that. And then whatever the top meant, I forget. So there's a cool thing they finally actually mentioned. And you get the very nice top box art here. This would be a good wallpaper. You got Ironhide, Chromia, Prowl, Prime, Red Alert, Hound, and Sideswipe. And nothing on the bottom. They'll come to the back where you get all the stuff and things. You got Giant Robot, converts in 37 steps to the missile base. You got the little guys, you got big old tank, you got little, oop, that flips open. And you got 3 steps here, Autobot Countdown, his little tiny Minicon, Weapon Master, whatever you want to call him, because he doesn't really turn into a weapon. And he's not a Battle Master, so, and then you got a code right here on the side. I don't know if that's worth transforming or anything, or translating, I should say. What does this say? Autobot Command Center mode. Okay. So yeah, there we go. Oh, S29, that makes more sense. So he's Supreme. So this is, of course, the first Titan class we've gotten out of this wave. It's the only Titan class I've got. Sadly, I mean, I would love to have, like, Metroplex. I'm a big Metroplex fan. Fortress Maximus, Trypticon would be kind of cool, except he's not really going to fit on my shelf, which I've had to make room for. As you can see back here, I'm going to do some rearranging, so I've got to, I'm going to end up over here with a whole bunch of different display. I might pull that off by the end of this video just to show it off. But for now, let's go ahead and get the big boy out. Alright guys, so here we have the top of Siege Omega in his base mode. And I'm going to try to pan down as effortlessly as I can, but oh, good lord, he's a big boy. Look at this. Yeah. So, all in all, the rocket is about 24 inches tall. That's the biggest rocket that we've ever had in a form of Omega Supreme. And he's kind of ridiculous. I literally can't fit him on screen all at once. So, it's going to be ridiculous. I'm going to have to switch to, mobile cam in a minute to really get some around the base kind of scenes here. But there you go. You've got his tank mode there, the rocket mode, and the base, including his nice tracks. You also get his little buddy Countdown. Basically a little moon buggy. And honestly, this really reminds me of the Transformers I grew up with, the little mini bots, stuff like that. And they were super tiny, super simple. And yeah, visible everything syndrome. Look at it. That's a bit ridiculous. It also comes with the blast effects, the blast off effects, really. And my biggest problem with these is I don't like the black shading to it. I think it's a little too dark. I think, you know, maybe at the base it would make sense, but up every single step doesn't look right. I mean, it's a cool layered effect, and of course it does come apart. So you got the little one, the medium one, the smaller one, slightly bigger one, and then the big one at the base, exploding out like flowers. And you got two more of those. And that's everything that comes in the box at that point. So let's go fly around cam mode here for a second. So coming up to the top of the rocket, you can see it's painted with some silver and some light gray. And as you move down, you can see a little bit of burn paint there, so to speak. And then coming down even further, you got some red paint around the edges of the rocket. It looks kind of cool. Come down, it repeats. You got some nice molded detail there, and a piece that's very misaligned. There's some issues with this, especially in getting it to rocket mode, that you'll see in the Transformer rollout video. And coming over here, you can see his tank mode. We'll look at it a little bit closer here in a bit. I'm just showing him off on the base. And you can see the nice little stanchions underneath. Excuse the plastic shavings all over. Of course, this is where I do my building. And his tank can technically roll. And with the ridges, it sort of follows the track. Stress the sort of. And if you come over here, got some nice yellow, silver, what are definitely not robot feet. Some cool molded detail underneath. And this yellow piece here is pretty cool because you can open it up. And you got a nice little hideaway spot there. And as I saw with another reviewer, he likes to keep the explosive parts put in there, which is actually pretty cool. And of course, your little buddy totally fits in there, no problem. You probably get like 2 or 3 of them in there, realistically. But it's nice. You got the silver paint, you got the little burn effect there. Come over here, and you get some silver paint, more burn effect. Follow the track around the backside, and you can see a lot of detail work going in here. Sorry, the darkness there. Shadows. Red paint. All this cool stuff here. Got some hidden missiles. Oh, actually, he's slightly mistransformed. This is technically supposed to be down. So you can actually see some more silver paint inside there. And as we come up the rocket, turn it here. And right here, we've got a nice little hidden spot there. So your little dude can hide out in there. Sorry, autofocus is trying to figure out what to do. So that's pretty cool. And close that back up carefully. Oh, and it even has like a little cockpit. That's kind of cool. Though they should have painted the windows. That would have looked better. And we'll come back over here to the chair so I can sit and do this. Alright, so bringing the camera down to my level. Kind of review things like we should. Show off the tank a little bit closer. So obvious big Autobot symbol is obvious. Some red paint all over here, kind of tannish brown plastic. Actually, I'm sorry, that's painted. This is the brown plastic. And you can see the difference here. And you got tank treads, a lot of molded detail, but surprisingly little paint. So that guy needs to be decoed out a little bit. All this nice molded detail, and they didn't even do all of the paint work. They did up here on the side cannon, which can move, which is cool. And if you need to, you can bend it. is one of those things that's super tight. So, I mean, it's not exactly a main feature. I'm gonna come down even lower, make my life easier. The camera has left to look at, it focuses easier. So, and then his cannons are, I believe, just painted with a matte black. Looks nice. You do have his main cannon right there that does tilt up and down. But despite the fact of having a pivot point there, that's only for transformation, because his gun doesn't tilt, because it's just kind of butt up against his head here. No pun intended. Yellow paint there that looks okay. You know, it's real hard to paint yellow over gray. Molded detail all over. Even on the bottom with these roller type things. They're not real, like, you know, wheels, obviously. And then you get the little clippies that kind of hold them together when he's transformed. And if you want to play around with the explosive parts, you can do that. So I've got it like all piled together here. It's like, poof. And poof, 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 poof. Things like this. And just shooting all the things. That's kind of cool. And he does roll. And you can tell he's rolling because you can hear the ugly noise. Now, some people are like, why isn't... Well, they could have motorized him. Look, he was already $150. Maybe slightly more. Adding a motor to this would have made it so much more expensive. And it's not like you could recapture the G1 walkabout version, you know. But you can sit up here, like I said before. If I can find the spot. And then count down. Can totally race around the track. He doesn't roll that well, if I'm honest. Those just sort of pegged in wheels. Don't do a lot for me. Okay. This would have been one of those times to make sure that everything was centered on the table, but, you know, who cares? And then you also have Wally for comparison, so you can see how big everybody is. And then you got a deluxe Hound for size. So you can see, it's not supposed to really scale with these guys. Honestly, it's kind of meant to just be for your mini bots or your weapons master, battle masters, things like that. But if you put out Optimus Prime with him, you see like that. Now, I'm not going to show it off because I don't really want to transform everybody to car mode just to show it off, but he can roll around. Optimus is one of the bigger car bots, but he's wide enough, or just narrow enough, to actually ride around on the track. Actually, most of the deluxes do as well. I think Springer might be a little too wide to do that, but for the most part, the Autobots all do. So that's pretty cool. Now, oops, knocking stuff over. Now, I will say this is a teaser for things coming up. I do believe, for my own sake, I think that this is meant to scale better with Legends class figures. And I just happen to have one here. And I mean, you can see this small Legends class car works awesome. And then when we get to bot mode, I'll show off a couple others that will probably look good. But I believe that really these big old city bots, these big old Titans, work better with something in the Legends scale rather than fitting in with the actual figures they are. You know what I mean? Now, there is one more feature that the tank does have. And if you open up this panel that was so problematic earlier, which is still just as problematic, it's tabbed in way too well. Like, I'm worried that this will break. Like, I know this is ABS plastic and whatnot, but it's latched in there so hard. I think, I don't know what it tabs into. Hold on. I'm going to look at it just real quick. Because it looks like it's just these tabs here in the middle. If I had to guess, because nothing else seems to tab in. Those are the only things. So, either way. So he's got this cool extra compartment in here that Countdown can fit inside. You see these 4 tabs. They're the perfect size. Just to kind of hold him in place. Like so. And now your little buddy can hang out in there. Or if you feel like rolling him out, it's a nice little thing. So he can act as a landing craft, so to speak, for your tiny Transformers. And then you can just close it up. Once again, I'm going to look at this, see what... It's got to be tabbing in maybe here. Yeah, it tabs in really good. So, now countdown is inside his belly. Inside the belly of the beast. Now, let's see if I can actually still open that. Yeah, that is really tabbed in there. And once again, just to show it off, how a Legends figure could fit inside there. It's a little tight for this particular car, but it might still work. Let's see. Nope, maybe not. Sideways. Smaller Legends class figures it'll probably work for. So, either way, that's that. Okay. Now, just to talk about it. So, what I was talking about earlier with the gappiness. So, this is a problem here. So, this is the wraparound bit that we're going to look at here in a second. When we transform this guy, this doesn't fit really well at all. Now, you have to have him really rotated and stuff in the proper directions, because this is basically his arms entirely all together. Now, this section, this is usually the one that's giving me problems. It's the one that's staying together. The upper one up here is the one that's actually fighting me a little bit. And it's one of those few flaws in the design of this guy, because the hinges for these doors, like right through there, are also trying to tab into place on the opposite side, like under here. And if things aren't just 100% lined up with that arm, whether you rotated the shoulder or the actual arm itself 100% to the right spot, something might be off. And it does have the kind of, just ever so unsightly gap there, but it's pretty neat. And it's a huge rocket. I mean, it's crazy. And I didn't really get a chance to look at it up close, but you got a lot of burn mark down here, and a lot of the little thrusters and stuff, and a screw going right down the middle, which is kind of funny. But, of course, if you want your rocket to be blasting off, you can totally do that. I don't think that's in the right order, but it doesn't matter. Just... Now, one thing I'll say about these, they're so wobbly, and the fact that they're layered so much is a little ridiculous. So, I mean, they're cool, but they're a little bit too gummy in this case. But you can just do that number, and he's good. Now, I want to talk about the base itself for a second, just by itself, because I gotta move some stuff here. Okay, so with the base here, I can come down for a little bit. So the track here is, of course, going to be his wings, as it classically is. Now, it does tab in right here. So this will sort of be a little transformation teaser, so to speak, how we kind of get it started. Now, sometimes they tab in really good, sometimes they don't. So you've got... Sorry, the camera got scared. You got these kind of tabs. Now, anything that has this situation on it, you can totally make use of. There's also these flip out little guys here. I don't know if I can get that without a pry tool. Need something. Let's see here. There we go. So you have another flip out piece here you can use that will work like that. So in reality, I expect someone, maybe even Hasbro, Takara themselves, oh, I knew something was out there, his foot wasn't flat, to actually make more wings for him, or like expansion kits, because you've got extra tabs there, you got the ones here. They can also tab off of each other, and you've got, when it's closed, you have even more tabs back here, so you can actually have more side streets, so to speak, coming off. So, come on. They may even do some straight pieces, because that would be cool. So, we've got this clip on this side as well. I don't like using my nippers for this, but, gotta do something. I need a spudger. Okay, so you got that, and you want to clip this guy on here. And I mean, it's a cool thing you can do. So you can make a really big city out of this. I'm trying to remember if there's anything in there that might work, because you got these smaller ramps here these little ramps inside here can do the same thing. They've got the same kind of clips on them too. So you can kind of expand this guy. And if you want to reposition the legs and do anything else, if you've got more of these roadways, we can make a huge play set with this. Now, they're not the same kind of clips that the other Titans or other things from, say, like Titan's Return base mode guys can have. So, but you can make one heck of a big base out of this. And if you had some straight pieces, that would be awesome. You know, even an extra curved piece, you know, just kind of go all out. And you could have a huge little command center. You know, that's just a very basic level. So it's just something that, you know, in the future, I kind of see them doing. I don't know if Hasbro themselves will do it. I'm assuming like Dr. Wu or DNA Design, or was it DreamWorks, Dreamwave? I think it's Dreamwave. I don't remember. Dreamwave does the comics. The other company that makes add-on parts. Somebody will make add-on parts for this guy. I can almost guarantee it. So let's go ahead and just get him transformed up. We'll pull these off. Tab that in. We'll fold these in. Now, the little stanchions for things only kind of fold one way. They'll look like they can go the other way. They can't. So just don't force them if they don't want to go. And just sandwich everybody together. I like the nice molded detail here. Now, this particular wing is warped on mine. You see here, it doesn't flat. It does not flat very well, so that part sucks. I'll rotate this guy over. I'm going to try to do everything I can as close to myself as I can, but I'm probably going to have to stand back up to do this. Okay, so you do that. You got this little tabby here. That one's already folded away. That one folds in. Yeah. Flip it together. All nice and neat. You can see that one is much better off. Now we'll do the main body part. So we want to leave the yellow parts up. Gotta do some adjusting here. Leave the yellow parts up because those will come in handy later. I want to close this back up, the part that I had mistransformed. You can just flip these guys down, cover down. Yeah, straighten out the leg. It's not a hard ratchet. It's actually a pretty soft ratchet, but it's just a very stiff leg. Speaking of that, go ahead and, oh, that's loud. Super heavy ratchets. And now we have a crotch. We want to rotate it 180 degrees and reopen that. Now I have to raise it up. I'm going to get to a point here where I have to stand up to do this because he is huge and I can't do everything on camera. So bring him back just a little. There we go. Now we take the rocket, and this is going to be hard to do because I can't see the camera. Alright, so you want to just pop these guys open, pop it open all the way. So you got this number going on, and then this just opens up like so. And there's a double triple hinge inside here that you just want to expand all that out. Go ahead and collapse the Pringles can part here. And then just kind of let those rest. Now obviously you've got the arms here, so I want to show them to that side. So it's funny, this part slides down to reveal the arm. This part slides out just to move out. And then that's essentially done. So what you want to do, just go ahead and rotate the elbow, just get your arms aligned, close up the claws. Now I've come to the back side, right in here. There's a little white spring clip right there, and then in this channel, you can see it's cut out just specifically for this. And one thing I will caution you guys on, make sure that that is pushed all the way out. The first time I was putting him back into bot mode, I screwed that up. So you just line it up, boom, drop the arms down, just bend the elbows a little, just to give yourself some room. Now back here, you've got a couple small channels. It's gonna be hard to see, it's in the shade here, but that's for your wings. So you've got your wing here, you've got your associated thingy. Just gonna line that up. can't see. He's in his own way, actually. Okay, so do that. This will kind of get in your way. Just a little. And then they don't tab in or anything. They just sort of find their spot and they stay there. Now with the back here, you've got 2 small tabs and a couple small grooves right there. And so you want to lift it up just a hair. Line up your groove and your tab. And tab it in. Tab it in. Now, one reviewer I watched did not do this part. He just kind of left it sitting. It's not totally integral, but it does make everything solid. And I appreciate that. Okay. We come back to the front. Now we got to tankify this guy. Alright, so we want to flip these kind of up. We want to just pop that loose. Mine really wasn't that connected. Using that double hinge, fold it down, clip, groove. Come on, there we go. Line it up. Now you got this mess. Now we've got to open up that again. That's actually getting easier. And with this, you want to turn it 180 and then flip it down and around, revealing his cool, clear chest mode. That actually got hung up on the backside. And of course, you have the head reveal here. Now with these guns, you do want to flip the cannons down. This one is a pain. And he's like, nah. Okay. Straighten all that out, and then the guns you want to tuck down into here. They'll clip kind of into place, like so. I'm going to close that up, kind of secure everybody. And so that's the kind of mess you're looking at. Now this big clip will go right into there, and so that's what we'll do. I'll just slide him in, close up the chest, close up the belly, and left, flip up his little head cannon. There we go. There's our really, really big bot. Oh God, he's huge. Alright, so going hands-free here, so to speak, or floating about. So you get all the nice details again. Got a really nice head sculpt here. He does have light piping, at least for one of the eyes. The other one, not so much. And as I said, his eyes should be blue, but they're orange. I find that really strange. And I know people have been taking the head apart, painting the eyes. I might do that, or I might just wait a little bit and see if somebody's going to come out with a swappable head, even with maybe some light up eyes. That would be neat. Okay, so he does have a little bit of neck tilt. It can tilt back to look up, not much to look down. It does rotate, which is funny because it rotates up near the chin, which makes it seem funny. My my head cannon is super loose, so if I do take it apart, I'm going to need to tighten that up. Now you come down to the chest. You got the nice translucent part here with all the cool stuff on the inside. You got some cool little chest cannons. That's neat. Autobot logo, obviously, right there in the middle. That'd be neat if that lit up too. And now you've got the arms. All nice. And by the way, there's these little effect pegs kind of everywhere, so you can put your exploding stuff everywhere you want. Now let's talk about articulation on the shoulder. Can come straight out, and he does rotate. Oh, but it's super hefty ratchets, which is something you want. Though the actual up and down is not that strong. Elbow is also a little bit soft. Sorry, I hate doing handy cam for this, but I gotta do it. Oh, I forgot something. You gotta expand his little cannon out. It'll pop into place. So, out for bot mode, in for rocket mode. Looks pretty good. Come to the other arm. We'll go down. Look at the same details we sort of already seen. Of course, now it's a claw. And you can spin it. These guys do move on the base ratchet and then that. And then for some reason, they felt the need to paint this. I don't know why. Why didn't they just paint the whole thing? I don't need translucent. I'm going to be honest. Just paint it orange. Or give it orange plastic for all I care. And then we see all of this nice detail down here. Knees are the same little doors we saw before, so you can hide people away. Wally can't really fit. The leg articulation, I'm going to have to go back to the camera for, or the base. Now, he does rotate at the waist, as we saw, for transformation. He can go all the way around on a hint. Legs, super loud ratchets. Ratcheting thigh rotation, as we already know. Big old chunky knees. His toes don't point, but he does have ankle rocker, which is good. So you can get him in a spread stance instead of just standing there flat. So that's a good thing. And we'll back out for a wider shot. Maybe raise up just a little. Dude, reviewing big things like this is not easy. So, the last big bot we looked at was Jetfire. So, Jetfire is half his height. So, if you have a Jetfire, that gives you your definite comparison. And here he is with Optimus. Looking good. Sorry, I had to move the camera. I couldn't get by my own self here. Here he is with Hound, who's refusing to stand up right now. So you can see how tiny a deluxe is. And scooching him over a little bit. We can get him next to the other big bot I've got with Fall of Cybertron Trypticon from Planet X. And you can see he towers over one of Planet X's biggest bots. Now, I would love to have the Planet X version of Omega, but he's hard to get and more than double the price. not nearly the size, and way double the price. Once again, camera change. So I'll raise up just a hair, and then look down just a hair. Alright, so this is the point I wanted to make. So you guys should know by now, I love me some little, new age / DX9 transform. So this is DX9's Dutch. So they're Optimus Prime. Now that is a much better comparison, I think. So even compared to combiners and stuff, and I know a lot of guys say this, so even if you have the third-party version, like the DX9 or the fans toys, these work out a little bit better. I mean, here he is with Prowl for a smaller bot, and then even next to Rager or Grimlock. So I think in this case, works way better, But so I think what ultimately I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set up the display with all of my Legends guys and him on the shelf, and just move my Siege stuff to kind of one spot. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then that's where I'm gonna end the video. So ultimately, here we go. So there he is with all of the much smaller bots. I dig this. I dig this a lot. Now, say I had one of the third-party versions, maybe the DX9, which I'm not tempted to get if the price drops. But I mean, look how good it looks with all of the little bots. And of course, I got this idea from good old Robert D from Realm of Collectors. This is the way he usually has his done. And then now I've got all my official stuff all together over here. I need more Decepticons. I'm working on getting more Seekers. Just saw that Thundercracker is out at Target in some places, so I'll be getting that down the line. And now I've got my Planet X stuff all lined up together. A little bit crowded, but together. And then, I mean, that looks really good, if I'm honest. Then I got Cosmos up there on his shoulders. I think that's cool. Now, if I could get like a battle scene going on, that would be awesome. But for the most part, that's pretty good. Now, I've got a couple Decepticons on their way, so that shelf will fill out a little bit better. Now, the only one that doesn't have a home there is my MechFans Toys Grimlock. He doesn't really fit in. And because I never compared it in the video, there's Jetfire next to Volcanicus, so he's as big as Volcanicus. So obviously, he's the same height. Now, down the line, I got to get a new shelf for these guys and stuff like that. So this is, of course, just kind of showing off a little bit, which you guys don't get to see much of. And because this was such like a major rearranging, you know, that's the thing. Now, I kind of wish I could get like a little partial shelf there for something else. I think that would look neat. But, you know, it is what it is. I think this is a much cooler display. Now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that shelf. I think for something that's shorter, say like my DBZ stuff, maybe I'll bump that shelf down and then give myself more room. I can get more figures in there. So yay for reorganization. But guys, if you like this video, if you dig this new big bot we've got here, give me a big old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe-ish button down there if you are new to the channel. I know these Transformers videos don't seem to get as many videos or as many views. I hope this one does, so I'm going to share it everywhere. By the way, figured out who was missing. Hound. So I got to get Hound on that shelf now. It's a little bit crowded over there already. By the way, keep an eye out for Ratchet at Walgreens. He should be coming out soon if he isn't already. I think in Canada he's already hit shelves. And I have been seeing Siege figures in my Walgreens here. Just no Ratchet just yet. So keep an eye out for that. And guys, I will catch you on the next review. And by the way, go check out the Taro for him as I transform him back to base mode, because that's an ordeal in and of itself. I'll see you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, to keep on nerding.